Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees for today's session on Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tata Jayamudiraya Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktirbhavati Naistiki. क्रीडसी अमोघ संकल्प उर्ननाभि यथा उर्नते तथा तत्विषयां धेहि मनीषा मयि माधव भगवत शिक्षितम् अहम् करवाणि हि अतन्द्रितः नेहमानः प्रजा सर्गम् पद्य अयम् यत् अनुग्रहात् क्रीडसी अमोघ संकल्प उर्ननाभि यथा उर्नुते तथा तत्विषयां धेहि मनीषा मयि माधव भगवत शिक्षितम् अहम् करवाणि हि अतन्त्रितः न इहमानः प्रजा सर्गम् पद्य अयम् यत् अनुग्रहात् क्रीडस्य मुख संकल्प ऊर्णनाभि यथा ऊर्नुते तथा तत्विषयां धेहि मनीषा मयि माधव भगवत् शिक्षितम् अहं करवाणि हि यतन्द्रितः देहमानः प्रजा सर्गं बद्धेयम् अनुग्रहात्
and that the living but Lord Brahma wanted to वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तों हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam, canto 2nd, chapter 9, answers by citing the Lord's origin, and we try to understand shloka kramanka 28 and 29. In these shlokas, they're describing about the energies of all energies of our master, and please tell philosophically all about them. They comparing the supreme personality of Godhead to the spider, how the spider covers itself by its own energy, and it uh, uh, made a spider web like that. Supreme personality of Godhead is making the srishtis, and he maintains, he creates, maintains, and destroys according to his willing. That is described in 28 shloka. And in 29 shloka, they describe about the instruction of the personality of Godhead, uh, which taught Brahmaji. And without the condition by such activities, he instrumentally generate the living entity. How the Brahma applied the uh, instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead uh, to, and he become speculator depend on the strength of his personal knowledge and condition to material bondage, and that all Gunamay Maya and illusory energy, like that it's describing Prabhuji will tell us in minutes.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So basically, as Mataji was saying, what we are trying to understand is how to act as the instrument of the Lord. Understanding the divine energies and the secret of the perfect devotion. So Lord Brahmaji here is continuing the discussions, and that will continue till the next shloka, wherein he is asking questions. He is trying to seek divine instructions after he has realized the Supreme Personality of Godhead one-on-one. And he has himself seen the Lord's inconceivable energies. So he humbly requests that he be enlightened in how to act as an instrument in the Lord's creation without falling into pride or illusion. So, two eternal principles. One, entire cosmic manifestation is play of the Lord's own energies. And two, a devotee, a true devotee, acts as the Lord's humble instrument, never independent of his will. When it comes to Krishna and his energies, it's all inconceivable. Brahmaji describes the Lord as the master of all energies. And Krishna, by his inconceivable power, acintya-śakti, he manifests creation, maintains it, and also destroys it through his agents, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. That is Shivji. So through these three different functions, though they look to be different, they are harmonized. Who? By whom? By Lord Sri Krishna, who remains independent and self-sufficient. So we have seen the 26 material elements. They carry within them their own potencies. The potency of the element itself, the potency of knowledge, the potency of action and reaction. And all of these are actuated by the Lord's will. In the shloka, we see all this being compared to that of a spider. A spider produces, sustains, and withdraws the web as per his desire. Similarly, Lord creates, maintains, and dissolves the universe through his own energies. So Prabhupada ji asks a very simple question. If a tiny spider can act on his own will, why cannot Supreme Being, through his supreme will, manage the whole cosmic manifestation? So, beginning with the known to understand the unknown is the analogy, beautifully illustrating how the infinite Supreme Being effortlessly performs all universal functions. Because Krishna finally is the source of all diversity. The Lord alone is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karana. He is both the cause and the effect, the source and the substance of all diversity. Yet he is untouched by the material dualities. Krishna, in fact, himself says about this in the fourth shloka of the 9th chapter. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagad vyakta murtina pachstani sarvabhutani na chaham teshu avasthitah. So, Hare Krishna. Krishna says, by me in my manifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. So if Krishna is pervading the entire universe, everything that exists, gross or subtle, is simply an expansion of his energy. Understanding this truth, a devotee realizes that nothing is independent of Krishna, and therefore everything must be used in his service. Another aspect which comes up in the discussions is the determination of the Supreme Lord. Brahmaji praises Krishna especially for the infallible determination. The Lord's will never fails. Even a fraction of this divine determination, when reflected in a devotee, leads to success and liberation. We always say that where there is a will, there is a way. So Srila Prabhupada explains that a devotee who learns to act with steady enthusiasm and faith, two aspects are important, enthusiasm and faith, no matter the circumstance, will inherit the strength of the Lord's will. And how is the Lord's will? It is infallible. It ever succeeds. So similarly, such devotee who is acting with steady enthusiasm and faith always succeeds. And this determination is cultivated by practicing the 6 principles of successful devotional service, which Srila Rupa Goswami ji outlines in Bhakti Rasa, Nectar of Instruction. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, Shri Rupa Goswami ji mentions Utsahat Nishchayat Dhairyat Tat Tat Karma Pravartanat Sangatyagat Satah Vrutte Shadbhi Bhakti Prasiddhati. So, what is important is enthusiasm, confidence, patience, acting according to regulative principles, avoiding the company of non-devotees, and following in the footsteps of the previous Acharya. So when we follow these 6 principles, a devotee achieves complete success in devotional service. So what this actually also proves is that devotional service is practical. It is not sentimental. Srila Prabhupada clarifies that bhakti is not an emotional display or speculative philosophy. It is actually a practical activity for the pleasure of Krishna. And this has been confirmed again in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu as well, wherein it is mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Dhyana Karma Dhyanavrutam Anukullena Krishnanushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Hare Krishna. So what it means is that Uttama Bhakti or pure devotion unto the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna involves the rendering of service in a favorable mood, free from all ulterior motives, devoid of karma, that is fruitive work, and jnana, that is speculative knowledge. So true devotion is dynamic. It is never passive. People like to do meditations, but meditations may be temporarily stopped because the moment there are worldly thoughts, it will get distracted. Or it can be even reversed, that meditation can help stop worldly thoughts, but again they are temporary. But the moment you take to devotional service, it transforms everything into spiritual activity. And that is why Prabhupada ji always recommends that we follow the 9 forms of such activity. Navida Bhakti, hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, becoming a servant, befriending the Lord, and surrendering fully. Atma Nivedana. So Bhakti is a life of positive engagement. It is not a withdrawal. And for this to be appropriately done, there is the important role of a spiritual master. Brahma's humility, it shows the necessity of a Guru Shishya Parampara. Brahmaji never speculated on his own intelligence. He sought to be instructed directly by the Lord. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna that vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, that please go learn the truth by approaching a bona fide spiritual master, inquire submissively, and render service unto him. So knowledge of the absolute is never gained by intellect but by revelation, which comes through descending disciplic succession. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji once told Rupa Goswami ji that by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, a fortunate soul receives the seed of devotional service, Bhakti Lata Bija. And so humility and submission to genuine spiritual master opens the door to divine realization. And how it is perfected? The key to perfection is enthusiasm. Prabhupada ji repeatedly emphasizes that without enthusiasm, one cannot succeed. Not even in material life. What to speak of spiritual life? Example, a student, an artist, a businessman, an employee, they must be active. They must be determined to achieve success. A devotee too similarly must engage energetically in devotional service. Krishna Artha Kaile Cheshta. All endeavor should be for the sake of Krishna. A devotee does not restrict his activities, does not confine himself to some activities. In fact, he spiritualizes every action under the guidance of his spiritual master. And Krishna is all pervading. So every object, every talent can be used in his service. Even modern inventions like this Zoom meeting, laptops, tablets, or as Prabhupada ji used to say, dictaphone, technology. So nothing exists outside Krishna's energy. Hence, everything can become spiritualized when engaged in his service. What is important is that we start acting as an instrument, like Brahmaji prays in the 29th shloka. Brahmaji is praying that he may be kindly instructed by the Lord so he can create living beings as the Lord's instrument. Because without being conditioned by pride or illusion, it is very important to act. He does not want to speculate or depend on his own intellect. He prays to remain a pure devotee, pure tool of the divine will. So Bhagavatam explains that every soul acts as an instrument in the conditioned state as well as in the liberated state. In conditioned state, the soul acts under the influence of Gunamayi Maya, the external energy, and in liberated state, he acts under the direct will of the Lord. So to be an instrument of Maya brings bondage, while to be an instrument of Krishna brings liberation. Choice is ours. In Bhagavad Gita, 10th and 11th shloka of 10th chapter, Krishna confirms that those who constantly are devoted and who worship Krishna with love, he gives them the understanding by which they can come to him. Out of compassion, he destroys the darkness of ignorance with the shining lamp of knowledge. So, pure devotee can always act flawlessly, guided directly by the Lord within the heart. And so they are never proud of their success because they know it is all Krishna's grace. And they know that they have to act as per Krishna's will. Because if Krishna does not will, nothing can happen. And if Krishna wills, no one can stop what Krishna has willed. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadhami buddhi yogam tam mamupayanti te. And then Krishna says in the 11th shloka, Tesham eva nukampartham aham jnanam cha tamaha na ashayami atma bhavasta jnana deepena bhasvata. So these two are very important shlokas and they are the homework for today. Brahmaji, yeah, they are part of the Chatushloki Gitas. So Brahmaji, though the most exalted being in the universe, he humbly prays to be saved from the pride of independent thinking, showing the ideal example of a true devotee. So the conclusion is the secret of divine empowerment. These virtues, they teach us the essence of spiritual realization. Lord alone is the source of all energy. He is the one who is the controller of all activity. Every element, every action, every living being functions by his will. True success comes when we recognize ourselves not as doers, but as instruments of his plan. And when we work in harmony with the divine will, enthusiastically, humbly, with devotion, every action becomes sacred, every thought becomes prayer, and every life becomes perfect. So the essence of the shloka is that we have to be the Lord's instrument, which is the highest freedom. To serve his will is the perfection of all power. So just as the spider weaves and withdraws its web effortlessly, the Lord creates and dissolves the cosmos by his will. Blessed is the soul who realizes this truth and acts only as his humble servant. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.